so easily. What to tell you.
All right. Podcast episode number 5. So last time we were talking about NBA veterans and all that. We talked about like Dirk and Luka and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So had some comments on that video. Okay. So one said that veterans help young players so much that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander wouldn't be the same without CP3, and the same with CP3 and Devin Booker.
Yeah, I agree.
Which really is true with Booker, because like obviously like a guy like CP3 is gonna help you win, but Booker didn't win at all without CP3.
Probably says a lot about CP3 too.
Yeah.
You know.
And then and we also asked who the MVP on that date was, and we got Jokic and Tatum.
Okay. Two guys we spoke about.
Yeah. So, anyways, questions for today. Not really like a topic, just kind of like talking about the NBA.
Okay.
So first of all, I think we got to talk about Donovan Mitchell 71.
Mm-hmm.
Before that game, actually, not like right before it, I didn't watch that game or anything, but just like kind of after we did that underrated podcast, and I was like, he's underrated.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of upset that I didn't include him, because to us he's not underrated. To us, we're like, yeah, Donovan Mitchell, like, but to the world, nobody knows Donovan Mitchell really, and he's obviously, I mean, just scored 71, but like, he's really, really good, you know?
Absolutely. Man, I don't know. I'm getting choked up, man. Thinking about Donovan Mitchell scoring 71, I'm getting choked up.
Another thing that I thought was funny, so everybody was going crazy about Donovan Mitchell having 71. Clay had 56 that night.
Yeah. I saw some things about, like, you know, someone said on Twitter it's the worst night in the history of sports to score 71 points.
Yeah.
And obviously they're talking about the DeMar Hamlin situation. But then the thing about Clay, like, it's definitely the worst night to score 56. I mean, like, the situation with the DeMar Hamlin happens, and then the 71 points happen. So you're not even the biggest thing in the NBA, let alone like in the sports world.
Yeah.
You know.
So I was gonna say that at the end, but you just brought it up. Obviously, praying for DeMar Hamlin.
Yeah, I've seen. I mean, today especially, like, picture him sitting up in bed. And, like, I mean, that's like
one thing. Obviously, we didn't know if he was gonna even make it, but now, like, you know, like, we know what it's like to love a sport so much you really want to see him be able to play again.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right.
I saw a thing like he was leading safeties in tackles since week 8.
I saw he was a third leading tackler on the Bills. And for a 6th-round pick.
Yeah.
And the Bills have a good defense, you know, and one of the teams that feel like maybe they could win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You know, so he's a big part of that.
All right. Anyways, on to question number 2. This one might take a little longer because, I mean, we just kind of talked about, all right, Mitchell had 71, underrated. This one I kind of thought about.
Let me say something about Mitchell's 71 that was impressive to me.
Okay.
34 shot attempts.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, that's a super efficient, like, when you can double the points of, like, how many, like if you have 10 shot attempts, you score 20. If you have 20 shot attempts, you score 40. I mean, that's very, very efficient basketball. So for him to score 71 and had 11 assists.
The thing is, too, is like they needed the 71 because I think like it might have went to overtime or something.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
You know, when Kobe had 81, he had 2 assists. Yeah, he had Donovan Mitchell had 11 assists. Not to say that I'm not trying to take anything away from Kobe, but again, I mean, 11 assists. I mean, you got to think about that. He scored 71 points. He assisted on 11 plays. They had 145. But so you have to imagine he accounted for close to 100 of the 145 where like from his hand directly or from his hand to someone else's hand to the basket. So he was a huge part of that.
I feel like it's a good podcast question. I see that people talk about this all the time. Do you think, Kobe's 81 is the most amount of points ever scored.
So you think
Do you think Wilt Chamberlain actually scored 100 points? There are highlight tapes. There are like 10-minute highlight tapes on YouTube of Wilt Chamberlain, but they don't have video of him scoring 100. They're like all his stat sheets are there, but his 100-point game.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of things you have to consider, like whether it actually happened or not, And I mean, I guess I have to trust history that says that it did. I've never seen film of Bevo Francis scoring 134 points.
Yeah.
But Ryan Grant says it happened.
Yeah.
There's books about it happening. I'm sure it's written in plenty of books about Wilt having, 100 points.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think I just have to, take people's word for it, and that's the record.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think
Yeah.
he did.
All right, go to comments right now. Do you think Wilt scored 100 or is 81 the highest points ever scored in the NBA game? All right, so question number 2 here. I thought about this while I was making the questions. Nobody's talking a lot about Brunson this year on the Knicks, but I'm not really going to talk about him on the Knicks too much. I want to say, like, I think the Mavs are having a really good year. Like, they've been kind of like, all right, they seem like they're going to be good. Like, give them a year. Like, I feel like they're kind of close to having that year. Like, do you think they would be a lot better if they still had Brunson?
What did they get for Brunson?
I'm not gonna lie, I don't even know.
Did they just lose Brunson to free agency?
I think they might have. I think they just lost him to free agency.
Well, I know they got Christian Wood, which has been like a big addition. Like he.
But I'm pretty sure he's a free agent though.
Okay. So Christian Wood's been a big addition, and I mean, I know that I think that was initially the thought of signing Kemba Walker was to have a guy to kind of lead the second unit guys. And you know what happened to Kemba Walker a couple days ago? They cut him.
Oh,
yeah. So he got cut a couple days ago. So the Kemba Walker experiment in Dallas started and ended in the span of about a month.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think obviously like. He comes to stardom in the playoffs because of Luka's absence, and he kind of carries the Mavs. But I think this year, he's probably going to revert back to being, not necessarily a second unit guy, but not the main guy. And I guess you like as a franchise, you have to decide like, do I want to pay somebody this money to play this role? And I guess Dallas's answer was no.
Because I think we talked about that a little bit, like. We saw him go to the Knicks, and we were excited because we like Brunson. We were excited for him, but at the same time, we were kind of like, he can't be that guy.
Can he be the guy?
Yeah, and we didn't feel like he could be a guy.
Right. They're about what, 500?
Yeah.
So probably in the playoffs, but just maybe like play in playoffs.
But yeah, I agree. I don't think. I don't know if it helps the Mavs without him. I'm not gonna say that, but I don't think it really hurts them.
Yeah. The addition of Christian Wood has helped. I can tell you that.
Okay, so if we're talking about the NBA, we gotta talk about the Nets.
Yeah.
In December, KD and Kyrie averaged 56 combined each game. And they're on a 12-game winning streak right now. So I got 2 questions.
Okay.
What do you think about the Nets? And is Kyrie and KD the best duo in the NBA right now?
I wonder what would be, scoring duos. Like who would be another. I guess maybe Clay and Steph when they're healthy. LeBron and AD when they're healthy. I would think that they're like scoring duo. I would have to imagine they're as good a scoring duo as there is. I think you could argue that Tatum and Brown,
or
from both sides of the basketball, are as good as any like tandem, just because like they play great defense and they play great offense. And KD's played pretty good defensively this year too. Kyrie is still Kyrie defensively. He's not much defensively, but the thing I think about the Nets probably, overall is just like, I mean, the talent's there. Obviously, Jacque Vaughn has pushed a lot of the right buttons that Steve Nash didn't. So credit to Jacque Vaughn. But I mean, at any time, is Kyrie going to do something stupid? You know, is he going to? I guess because obviously he's more than capable of having something come out that he just like. Yeah. Something happens, maybe that he does, or something indirectly tied to him that kind of throws a monkey wrench into your plans. So I hope that doesn't happen for their sake.
I think, like, I mean, I don't know. I think they're the best duo in the league right now, just because they're winning so much together. But at the same time, like the Nets, kind of like what you were saying, the Nets are just so like. I feel like every year the Nets just have something go wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like with their guys, like something goes wrong with one of their guys every single year. So, well, I guess we'll ask this too. Like, what do you see them doing as of right now? What do you see them? What are they capable of in the playoffs? Do you think?
I mean, I think if they're healthy, they have the capability and the firepower to go to the finals. I really think they do. I mean, if they're healthy, I think they're still a little thin at 4 and 5, especially like if they're like from a defensive in like rim protecting. Like, I mean, really Claxton's really their only kind of guy there, and I mean, I think Claxton's gotten a lot better, and I think he's a good player now. But still, I think that there might be a hard time guarding Giannis. How are they going to guard Giannis? So that'll be that could be a potential matchup issue for them. But I think, I mean, obviously, like offensive talent wise, I mean, like you have those two guys, but then you're talking about like you have Seth Curry, you have Joe Harris. So you have like great floor spacing around guys two that can, super dynamic guys that you really feel like can't be guarded one-on-one. Yeah. And then you have two really, really elite 3-point shooters. Offensively, the sky's the limit. Defensively,
they're pretty bad.
I don't know if they can I don't know if they can win a championship defensively, but offensively, I mean, like they've really got like some pieces there to play.
I think, I don't know, like I just feel like they probably can't go too far, like just because kind of like well, I feel like you don't win championships how they play. I don't think they don't play as bad as like Harden or something like that, but like you still don't win. You got like there's got to be more to the team than what they have, I feel like. But I don't see them going too far in the playoffs, but I mean, they're playing good right now, and I feel like with the Eastern and Western Conference, like there's so many teams that could like the NBA is very dynamic right now. Like there's like one in the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference, the 1 through 5 seed have a chance of going to the finals. Like that's scary.
I think as of Thursday, Brooklyn was a half a game out of first. I'm not sure what the standings are right now, but I know as of Thursday, like a couple days ago, they were a half a game out of first. So, and I also feel like they're a team that nobody would want to face. I don't want to face somebody that like could put up 140 on me. You know what I'm saying? Like it would be really hard, like to guard them, especially like I said if they're healthy, which they're just starting to be healthy.
I mean, I guess we already said this, but at the same time, like Kyrie could just
he could do
anything at any time.
Hopefully he doesn't.
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't.
I mean, he has like obviously some of the best ability of any player in the league, but he's also capable of losing a Nike contract. Yeah, and doing silly things that are unfathomable.
Yeah. All right, that was kind of short, so I feel like we'll ask something else here.
Okay.
are there any like young guys? They don't got to be rookies, you know what I mean? But like first or second or even third year guys that like you've seen play that you think like have a chance to be like really good.
That's a good question.
I'll start with it. He's not. I don't even know. He might be in like his 4th year now. But dude, a very underrated young guy because of who he plays for. I think he averages maybe like 22 a game. Is Anfernee Simons.
Yeah.
For Portland. He's really, really good. Mm-hmm. Super athletic, super good jump shot. Like he's a guy I could see like. I don't know if he'll ever get the publicity because of where he's at. Yeah. But like he could be really, really good. Right. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I agree. He's a potential borderline all-star, this year. Mm-hmm. So he's done really well. Speaking of, obviously we're in Ohio. Darius Garland, I think has been really good. Really gives the Cavs a good dynamic 1-2 punch with him and
we'll talk about we keep bringing up underrated. That's an underrated duo, Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland.
Again, you talk about scoring.
Yeah,
they might be somewhat undersized, but they really can score with the best of them. And Darius Garland, I thought it was interesting. Like coming out of college, he was kind of he didn't play much college basketball, and he played at Vanderbilt, and he was kind of flew under the radar, so to speak, especially for a number 4 pick. Mm-hmm. And then he didn't play right away because I think he was injured or whatever. But he's really shown, how good he is. And obviously he needs to be healthy for the Cavs to really make a run. And but I think he's a young guy that definitely could be one of the better point guards in the league.
Yeah, I think it's funny too because we went to like a Cavs game. I think it was Cavs versus Bucks.
Yeah.
When he was a rookie, I think. And, like, look back on it now, like, Drew Holiday was guarding him. So, like, obviously he's not going to have a great game. He's a rookie. Like, but, like, at the time, we were like, man, what's the hype around this guy? Right, like, this guy ain't, like, he ain't even that good. And then, like, but now, like, yeah, he's legit.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think with, like, guys like Darius Garland, like, it'll always be hard for them to, like, make, like, he was all-star last year, right?
Yep.
But I think it'll always be hard for guys like him to be, like, MVPs and stuff. I'm not saying he's anywhere close to being an MVP, but just because, like, he's a small guard that it doesn't play flashy.
Yeah.
So, like, obviously the fans are going to want the MVPs to be like guys that like the MVPs are always going to be popular dudes and he's not going to be popular because he just kind of gets buckets. He doesn't like do anything else. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I teach in a middle school, so obviously I see kids wearing jerseys all the time. I haven't seen a Garland jersey yet. So
yeah. Definitely haven't seen an Anfernee Simons jersey yet.
I definitely have not seen an Anfernee Simons jersey. Not that we shouldn't.
Yeah.
On either one of those guys.
Yeah.
We just haven't. Their popularity is not where it probably should be.
Yeah. All right, so in the comments we already asked to say
Wilt.
Yeah, Wilt is Kobe the most points of all time. We'll ask we'll ask who do you think like up and coming guy is. A lot of people, speaking of Anfernee Simons and the Trailblazers, a lot of people talk about what's his name, Shaedon Sharpe, I think.
On the Trailblazers.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gotten some hype. The Trailblazers really feel highly about him.
Yeah. Anyways, give us your young guy that you think is up and coming, and tell us if you think Kobe is the most points of all time or Wilt is the most points of all time.